This is a Pod Dealers Network podcast.
What is TWS podcast, episode, whatever, who cares at this point?
Bar. The rants of the vindicated.
It's my podcast and I do what I want to.
People, listen.
Word, is it still live?
It's not working for me, Rich. All right, we gonna keep going. I know I changed my voice at work.
Bars on the radio.
What is TWS podcast?
When ready.
I feel like the Neanderthal.
Staring at my watch and I'm feeling so new school.
Suicide attempts, how many tries to take? They ain't ready.
Your bitch never kill a pimp, loud mouth rhetoricals and ain't said. You can talk till you die and you ain't said this unless you repeating the phrase of y'all beeziest 17th verse of the 25th Ezekiel leave you. Let us pray for the souls of these suckers.
I be back, yeah, January, February, marching with the people. April, may I have a black star sequel to the Black Caucus. June, July, the Black August. September to October, you find me with black daughters. November when we come for that office.
Man, that shit is... I'm hype. Anyway, welcome to another episode of the What is TWS podcast. As always, I'm your boy J. Flam, representing the White Pants Society. And I got to start by thanking you, as I always do, for coming through and listening to whatever it is I do here, my random ramblings. I know you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. And I do really, really, really appreciate that. I definitely do. Bottom of my heart. But yo, I'm in a good mood, a better mood than I was when I was going through what I'm going to talk about today. But, man, had to start with that one. So anybody that knows me knows I'm a big, most Def Yassine Bey, Talib Kweli fan. The Black Star album to me is a classic hip-hop album. I think somebody recently asked me what albums could I listen to all the way through, no skips. And I think I mentioned Black on Both Sides, but I would be remiss if I didn't also mention that Most Def and Talib Kweli are Black Star, that first album. That's one of my, no skips. Love that album from start to finish. And then, once you drop a classic album, the question immediately becomes, when we getting another one? And I don't even know how many years it was in between that first one and this last one, but it was a long time. And hopefully I'm not going to get into any trouble. Because I know that, Yassine and Talib went back and forth, how to release the album. And it's been out for a while, but it's been exclusive to Luminary, which is, like a podcast streaming platform, but they dropped their album there. That's the same place where they do the Midnight Miracle with Dave Chappelle, one of the dopest podcasts I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. One of these days, I'm going to step my production values up to be, somewhere in line with that. That's definitely where I want to be, but we ain't there yet. But yeah, it was on Luminary, and then just recently this week, they made it available for download for purchase on Bandcamp. And so, I definitely had to go. I feel like I paid for the album twice, but I ain't upset about it. It's all good. I got some good content from Luminary in addition to the album, so I'm not mad. It is what it is. Happy to pay for it twice just because I own some music for a change. I was just talking to Willie from the Thing About Us podcast, and I was talking about like how we don't own music anymore. Like everything is on these streaming platforms. If for whatever month I end up needing to tighten my belt and have to cut off some things, like I might cut off access to a large percentage of the music I listen to these days. So I'm just hyped to own some music. I have it, can't take it away from me type situation. And so, yeah, I played that clip from the song. I think So Be It. That's like the second song on the album. Probably my favorite song. I love that. I love that line, let us pray for the souls of these suckers. Like, like to let you know I love you and I'm praying for you. But, I'm still, you a sucker. Like, I still want you to know it's not all love. Like, fuck you a little bit, but I'm praying for you. But yeah, that's a dope album. I would suggest, you give it a listen if you haven't already. I'm hoping that now that it's available in this other format outside of Luminary, that more people will get a chance to listen to it. Maybe I can have some conversations with folks about it, because I was super excited when it dropped. And that excitement was only dimmed a little bit by the fact that like nobody was going to subscribe to Luminary just to be able to talk to me about it. So I was all by myself for a little while, but the tables have turned, motherfuckers. It's available now, so go get it. No Fear of Time, Black Star. It's on Bandcamp. You should go cop that. Anyways, man, I'm trying to do a little bit of a return to form, get back to some of the things that I usually do. I know the last couple episodes have not been, in my mind, not as humorous. I've tried to put some humor in there, but they've been a little heavy. They've been about Father's Day and being a father. Not growing up with a dad, and then I think I talked last week about being kind to yourself and forgiving yourself, and some of the the deeper introspection and conversations I'm having with my nephew. And those are all parts of my life and things I do. But sometimes I wonder, whether that's entertaining or not. Maybe you take something positive away from it and it's good. I got some good feedback, about talking about imposter syndrome and things like that. People definitely related and connected with it. But I do like to, entertain a little bit, be a safe space away from a lot of the bullshit. And we got a lot of bullshit going on right now. I know I never seen a smart person like fuck up so bad with Elon and this Twitter situation. I know Joe is talking about that, so I'm gonna let Joe have that space. I'm gonna let him, I'm gonna let him go get him. Go say your piece, say what needs to be said. I'm not gonna step on your toes on that one, but that's a crazy situation. And then there's just so much more that's going on in the world. It's always something crazy that's going on in the world. Always something to be upset about. And while this is going to be an episode about me being upset, I think it was funny in there. So it is what it is. Anyway, before we get to that, we got to do the Chef Elise report.
Out of Peppy.
Yes, sir, I am. And proud to be. Man, again, I still don't have a lot of Chef Elise content. She is out of town. She's in Maryland, visiting family, and I'm happy she's getting the opportunity to do that. But I miss her. I don't have her around. Like she is the most interesting part of my life, most weeks, and that's kind of why the content has been a little hard to come by for me, because I don't have that. So I'm just like chilling in the house, dealing with whatever nonsense I deal with, which to me isn't that interesting. So I'll be happy when she gets back. But I'm glad that she's up there visiting family. The one thing I will mention about Chef Elise, which really isn't about her, but I thought it was dope, so I figured I'd share it with y'all. She got a chance to visit with my mom, and it's been like 5 years, since they saw each other in the flesh. They've done video calls. I tried to make sure that when she did get to see her again, she would know who she is. Like, she's seen her. She knows that face. She's spoken to her. She's talked to her. She recognizes the voice. They have a relationship. They just haven't been in each other's presence physically in 5 years. But they were able to do that today. They were able to connect and see each other. I know my mom is happy that she got to see her, and I'm happy that they got to see each other and have that. I wish I could have been there, but it is what it is. But what's dope about it is I've talking to my mom after the visit, and we had a long conversation about all kinds of things, the way we talk. And then by the time we got off the phone, I think my ex-wife was sending my mother pictures of the visit. And so she sent them, my ex-wife sent them to me as well. My mom said she got them first, and then she was asking me if she wanted, if I wanted her to send them to me. And I was like, if you want to, whatever. Like, I'm not a big, I don't know. I'm not sentimental in that sense with like pictures and stuff. I figured, I get them. I know you have them. If I ever want them, I know where to get them from. But, you ain't got to feel no kind of way about having to send them to me. But my ex-wife sent them to me anyway shortly after she sent them to my mom. And when I looked at the pictures, my mom she went to my ex-wife's mother's house. So she was, I don't have no other way to say it, but in like enemy territory, this is the family of the woman that divorced your son, So, like, a divorce is a divorce, even if we friendly now, like, it's a divorce. Like, it's not a lot of positive ways you can spin that. And so my mother's going over into their territory, and when I looked at the pictures, she was wearing a J. Flan shirt. I was like, motherfucking right. That's my mom. That is my mother. Like, I love the subliminal pettiness. I know nobody took it any kind of way, and it wasn't meant in any kind of way, but she definitely meant something by it. Like, you know, of all the shirts she could have put on to go over there and see her granddaughter, she rocking the shirt with my signature on it, and way to represent, Martha. Way to stay on brand and just be dope. Represent for the Flanagans. I love it. That was, man, that did something for my heart. That did something for my spirit. Like, you know, I know my mama loved me, but now I know my mama love, and she fucks with me. Like, she rides with me. You know what I'm saying? Tonight is the night that we ride. Like, we together. If she gonna go over there, she gonna go over there repping. And that's my homie. It's no beef. I hope nobody, I know my ex-wife is gonna hear this. Like, it's no beef. I just gotta, you know what I'm saying, I got a chuckle. I got my 7 chuckles off of that, because that to me was a dope move. So that's really all I got for the Chef Elise report. Not a whole lot about Chef Elise, but she got some time to spend with my mom, and my mom was repping as she should. So that's the report.
I'm Peppy.
Yes, sir, I am, and that's my mom. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on to the topic for today's episode. From time to time, I try to be a positive person. I think I was just on a live stream with Joe from Bold Talk by Joe. And you're talking about how, you know, with the craziness out here, you know, do you feel the need to speak on it and stuff like that? And I think my answer to that was, you know, I try to make my show like a safe space from that. Like, I know negativity is out there. If you're looking for negativity, it's not hard to find. Sometimes it can be difficult to find a break from that, or to find something positive, or something that's just neutral. That don't, just not one way or the other, but just something that's not meant to get you upset or spark some sort of outrage or make you cry or whatever it is. Like, sometimes I just want to be just random nonsense for people. And, you know, so I try to be that. I try to be positive. But the world being what it is, it's going to shake you out of that every once in a while. And I have this philosophy that I talk about, you know, getting the evil out. You got to get it out. Like, let's not pretend like it's not present. Let's not pretend like I don't think horrible things, and I don't get angry and people don't piss me off. I'm not going to pretend like that happens. I don't always speak on it, but every once in a while, so that the shit doesn't build up and turn into something, I got to get the evil out. I got to just talk about it. And I had such an experience not too long ago. I am preparing for the 4C conference in Ohio in July 22nd. 4C, I want to say for Content Creators of Color. I'm not sure if that's 4Cs or not. The Content Creators of Color Conference, is that the 4C? Don't give me the line. I'm trying. Don't get mad, DC and Amron. Like, I'm repping. It is what it is. I just, you know, I'm not the best spokesperson for things like this. But I'm getting prepared for the 4C conference. I'm excited to go up there, meet some people in person that, you know, I haven't yet to meet in person. I've talked to them on a weekly basis for hours at a time. And but we've never met in person, so it's going to be a dope experience. I registered for the conference, no problem. Easy money. I bought my plane ticket, not a problem. Easy money, knocked it out. Last step in the journey was booking a hotel room. And I mean, that should be, so that was the one thing I wasn't worried about. Like, you know, I wasn't really worried about the registration for the conference. Like, that was going to happen. But I think, you know, there was a time frame where the price was going to go up or something like that. I snagged my tickets early, but I did that. I was concerned about the plane ticket. Because, you know, that wasn't normally my job when I was married. You know, my ex-wife, she handled a lot of our travel. Not a lot. She handled all of our travel arrangements. Like, I just had to know where I had, what day I needed to be packed and be prepared to take that trip. Like, she knew the flights and the boarding passes and the hotels and all that stuff. I just had to be ready to go. But, you know, I booked the flight. You know, I had to manage the whole checking prices, and I'm on these different apps, Hopper and all. I'm getting alerts, the flight about to go up and all of that. But I got it straight, and I'm happy with the price I paid. So boom, that's done. And then I just figured booking a hotel, like, that's gonna be the easy part. You just find a hotel in the area. You know, I think Amron from, you know, Optimist Radio, worked out a deal with a particular hotel. So we kind of all agreed on the spot. And so I knew where we would be staying. It just, you got to book it. You don't have to pay up front. They're going to charge you when you're leaving. So it was one of the ones I didn't have the financial anxiety about. I've already spent a lot of money flying back home for my aunt's funeral. And then I've already paid for the plane ticket. So, money was on my mind, but I crossed that bridge when we get there. So, man, I try not to do stereotypes. Like, I try not to stereotype people and try not to be racist. I believe black people can be racist. I believe black people at a lot of times are racist. I think we use the term prejudice or something to kind of make it sound better, but I feel like prejudice is a racist mindset without the power. And I try not to do that, but it's very difficult when I can understand how people get there. When you have negative experiences with people and they start looking the same, the people that look this way or the people that sound this way, I seem to have consistent negative experiences with, then you find yourself tensing up, when you get put in them situations. But I try to fight it. So I'm calling the hotel, and I'm trying to book the room. So I know, like I said, the coordinators of the conference have worked out a deal with a hotel. I'm talking to people ahead of time before I make the call, and they're like, you call, you tell them, you calling for the 4C conference. They're gonna ask you your name, blah blah blah. Your name should be on the list. They give you the rate. So I call, and I get the guy on the phone. And he's got an accent. So, what I'm saying? Spidey senses is tingling, but I'm fighting it because that's not right. That's foul. Like, you're not supposed to prejudge people like that. So first off, I'm trying to explain the 4C conference. I figure it's two characters, 4C. Like, it sounds simple when I'm saying it to you, but I don't know if I could explain to you how difficult it was over the phone with the accent to try to explain to this person 4C. I'm not saying 4C like the ocean. Like, I'm just like 4C. I'm like the number 4, the letter C. It's like, all right, well, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's, the conference for content creators of color or something. Like, I'm just, like, we having the time. I'm getting irritated. He's trying to look up this thing and we can't seem to communicate properly on what the name of the conference is or what the code could be. Like, it's killing me. I think I finally got him when I broke it down to, all right, 4 characters, dude, is 4 and C. And he was like, man. But in the back of my mind, the whole time I'm thinking, really, bro, like, how many conferences do you have going on that sound like 4C on the weekend of the 24th? If I'm telling you the weekend is happening and I'm giving you a name, like, context clues, process of elimination, we should have been able to get through this. And it's Cleveland. Like, it's Cleveland. I guarantee you it's not a long list of shit that's going on in Cleveland. I just know that. I feel that in my heart. It can't be that many names you got to scroll through to just pick out something that sounds close to what you hear me saying. Like, this shouldn't be that difficult. It can't be a long list of shit that's going on in that city. I just know it. I know it. And I'm not trying to calm myself down, but we finally figure it out. We finally get to it's 4C, and he's like, okay, and so it seems like we're making progress. So after all of that, after like a good 10, 15-minute conversation, just trying to get the name of the conference down, he comes right back. Like, not even like I had to go look it up. It's just, he comes right back. Oh yeah, we're booked up that weekend. Regular rate and everything. Your discount rate has expired. And I'm like, well, why the fuck did we just sit through a 10-minute conversation trying to figure out what conference I'm talking about if you already knew that the entire hotel was booked up completely for that weekend? Like, now you just wasted my time. And then I know for a fact that somebody just called you, moments before I called you and got this worked out. So now I'm super pissed. But I can't argue with you about what you saying. I don't work there, so I don't know. But I'm telling you, like, all right. So now he's like, but I can look in the system and check all the hotels in a 25-mile radius. I'm like, okay. And then he does. So now you offer me something else, and then he comes right back. Oh yeah, everything in the 25-mile radius is booked. Bullshit. It's not. It's Cleveland, nigga. It's Cleveland. It's no fucking way. Every hotel in your chain is booked in a 25-mile radius on this weekend. It's not possible, dude. It's not like what are you doing? Like what is going on here? I'm trying to be kind and considerate and like not spaz out. I want to spaz out because you're driving me crazy. And then I don't even know, he started trying to offer me something else after that. You know what? He offered me like a discount on staying there during another time. I can get you a discount if you want to come back another time. Motherfucker, it's Cleveland. Fuck would I want to come to Cleveland for nothing? Like, I want to come to Cleveland on this day for a conference. I'm telling you, I'm not coming there to visit family. I'm not coming here to just hang out. I don't want to go see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or whatever it is that they got in Cleveland. I'm coming there for this conference. Why the fuck would I care about a discount to come there some other time? Like, I'm super pissed at this point. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Whatever. Trying to rush him off the phone because I don't understand why we still talking at this point. If I'm calling you to book a hotel room, you don't got one, and nothing in a 25-mile radius has one. We not friends. This conversation can end right now. Like, we done. So I get off the phone with him. I'm pissed, right? So I started looking, and according to their website, the website for that hotel, they are booked solid, for that weekend. They got rooms on Saturday, but they don't have no rooms for Friday and Saturday. And I'm not trying to arrive on Saturday, have to go to the conference. And like, I was trying to get there Friday night, be able to chill, wake up the next morning, go to the conference, fly out Sunday. So I started looking around, and I'm trying to save money. If y'all don't know, like, I just talked about my financial woes, and I'm in general just cheap. I do Groupon dates and all that good stuff. I've been called out on it. It is what it is.
You can love me or hate me, either or.
Fuck y'all. But so me and another attendee of the conference decided like we would room together. That way we could split the hotel fee, make this not as expensive as a trip. So, I'm talking to him. I'm telling him, like, man, shit booked up. I'm feeling some kind of way. Cause like, maybe had I called earlier, I would have got all this straight. We wouldn't have had to, go through all this rigmarole. I'm hoping I can get a rate that's going to be comparable, to the discount they was going to get us at this one particular spot. I don't know, but, I'm going to do the legwork. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to see what I can do. So I stay in the same chain of hotels. And I find a room, same distance away from the venue for the conference, for actually a lesser rate than what they were offering us with the whole conference package at another hotel. Easy peasy, like real fast. I'm like, yeah, they'll go to that 25-mile radius thing. Fuck out of here. I'm like, I'm extra pissed. So I go ahead and I book that online. Like, at this point, I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want to talk to people. I've lost faith in humanity. Fuck them all. Like, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. So I don't want to speak to another human being at this point. I'm gonna book it online. So I book it online, and then it dawns on me, like, me and the dude, we not traveling together. So, like, the reservation is in my name. 9 times out of 10, he's closer to Cleveland than I am. He's gonna arrive before I do. How do I set it up so that he can check in even if I'm not there? So I'm like, fuck. I try to go modify the reservation online, and now I'm getting pissed off at technology because, just the shit it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. I hit modify, take me over here, and I try to do this, and I'm feeling like an old angry man that's just mad at computers. I'm mad at people. I'm mad at everything at this point. Like, I'm just, fuck everybody and everything. This is some bullshit. Like, I gotta go to this conference. I told people I'm going. I'm trying to see these people. But, I'm at that point where I just want to say, fuck it. Like, I just want to throw the whole thing away and be like, I don't care if I lose money, whatever. Like, I'm just done with it. I'm like, no, you can't do that, Flynn. You can't do that. Woosah. You woke up this morning a Christian. Bring it back. bring it back. So I'm like, all right, I will speak to an individual. Let me find a number. I'm going to call these people, and I'm going to get this straight. So I called the hotel that I booked, and I'm explaining to the dude the situation. I'm like, I booked a room. Me and a colleague of mine are going to be staying in that room. He is going to arrive before me, so I need to put his name on the reservation so he can check in. And the dude was like, no problem. I would just need to see your ID when you arrive. Okay. All right. See, here we go. Here we go. Immediately with the bullshit. I don't understand what you didn't pick up on with what I said. I'm trying to make sure he can check in before I get there. How am I going to show you my ID at the desk if I'm not there and I want him to check in while I'm not there? Like, what? You not listening. Like, your whole job is to listen and then to respond to the questions and requests that are being sent your way. The first step in that is listening. If you can't get the first step down, how are we supposed to, work this transaction? Like, this is not going to work. I can't say none of that. So I'm trying to back up. Like, no, what I'm trying to do is set it up that he can check in before I get there. I won't be there to show you my ID. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, then that's not possible. Motherfucker. Like this. I hate when people say something's not possible. I work in IT and I used to work in customer service. I've done a lot of customer service work. I know there's, policies and stuff like that. And there's things that I have to do and there's things that I can do. So when people call and they were rude, when I was doing customer service, then all you ever going to get out of me is what I have to do. If you ask me for something that I don't have to do, but I could do, nah, I ain't doing it. It's not possible. I haven't been rude to this dude yet. We're getting there. I'm rapidly approaching rude. I haven't done it yet. So I'm not happy with it. It's not possible. It may be difficult. It may require some more work on your part. I may have to be put on hold. I don't know, but I know it's not fucking possible. But he's telling me it's impossible. I can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. So then he tells me to call somebody else. I got to call like some corporate number. So again, I'm losing it, people. Woosah. I'm trying everything in me. I got my green tea and everything. I got lavender in the diffuser. I'm doing what I can to like keep myself calm and not, because I haven't spazzed out on somebody in a long time. And there's a part deep inside of me that really wants to. It's looking for somebody to do something worthy of my wrath. And they're going to get all of it. They're going to get years of shit I haven't said to people. Like, it's going to all come out at the same time. And I want it to happen. So it feel like it would be the greatest release of all time.
Pause, nigga.
Whatever. But I secretly want it to happen. And like we moving in that direction. And I'm like, I can't fuck this up though, because I got my homie that's depending on me. Not depending on me, but I said I was gonna do something. I said I'm gonna book the room, and I like to live up to my commitments. I got people I told I'm gonna be there, so I can't like just spaz on this person and just fuck this whole thing up and just have to throw it away. So I gotta keep it cool. I'm like, all right, I'll call. So now I'm on person number three. This person picks up the phone. One, sounds like they're in their living room. There's other people around, and they don't sound like they're conducting business. They got a Jamaican accent, and they sound high as fuck. Like, I'm just, I don't like to stereotype people. It's not the accent that make them sound high. It's the highness that make them sound high. It's the weed that made them sound high. They sounded high as gas prices. I could tell from the moment they got on the phone. And then the person is speaking, with the raspy, I've been smoking all day, I'm high, slow voice. It sounded like a dude. So I know at some point I probably said, I called him sir or something like that. And then maybe that drove a divide between us. My bad. I'm trying to learn to just not say sir or ma'am at all anymore. But, understand I was raised where that's a sign of respect. I call you sir or ma'am because I don't know you personally. This is not a casual conversation. This is a business conversation, and I'm trying to extend you a certain level of respect when I speak to you. So that's why That's why I was raised to use those terms. I'm learning that it can backfire on you quickly, and what you think is a sign of respect can be a extreme sign of disrespect. So I'm working on that. But I slipped. I probably called this lady a sir. It's a little bit her fault for being high at work, and you got a deep voice or whatever. So I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna get myself in trouble going down that rabbit hole. But anyway, so I'm dealing with this person, and they say they can do it, but they're repeating stuff. Like, the person was so high. Clearly they were reading off a script. Like, I'm guessing they log into something and it says, say this first, welcome to blah, 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 and say this next. And, and when they say this, say that. And they doing that. But they so high that they keep losing their place in the script. So they'll say something to me, I'll say something back, and then they'll repeat the same thing they said to me. So once again, I know you're not listening to me. You're just reading some shit off a screen. And if you was listening to what I said, you would kind of have some idea where we were in the conversation, but you just going through the motions because you fucking high. And I'm, woosah. Like, I'm telling you, man, like all of my ex-wife called it hulking out when I lose it. And my eyes was green, my pants was ripping, all that shit. Like, I was right fucking there. And so I tell her what I need to do and what I'm trying to do. And, she finally gets to the point where she's understood me. Maybe she got to the end of her script or something where it didn't have a prompt for what she had to say next. So she had to come up with some shit off the top of her head. So she's like, yeah, we can do that. So then she started asking me information for the other guests so that so she could get them added to the reservation. I'm like, all right, we getting somewhere. This is all working out. Your patience is paying off. Good job, Flan. Pat myself on the back. And it was at that point that I realized this is about to be the gayest sounding thing I've ever done. So what I'm asking this lady, I'm telling this lady I'm coming to Cleveland on a random weekend. I'm calling this dude my colleague. We're not arriving together. We're not traveling together. He's going to get there before me. I'm paying for the room, but I want him to be able to check in before I get there. And then she's asking me stuff like, well, what's his name? And I ain't gonna put his government out there. We're gonna call him Mr. Walls. And that sounds even worse. But when I'm trying to tell somebody that I'm a dude and I'm coming to Cleveland on a random weekend to meet up with this other dude, we're not traveling together, he gonna get there before me, and his name is Mr. Walls. So please let Mr. Walls check in so he can be waiting on me when I get there to share this hotel room with him in Cleveland on a random weekend. And then she's asking me for his email address. And that's something like something Walls, something that's like, it sounds like a porn name to me. To me, I'm like, it's not sounding good. And she's high and she's Jamaican. Like, okay, let me not stereotype. Lord be with me. I'm trying. I swear to God, I'm trying. It's not sounding good. Then she's asking me his telephone number. I got the telephone number. Then she's asking me his address. I don't know the motherfucking address. I'm not about to ask him for his address. Like, we not that cool. And so, again, it's not some nigga I don't really know that well named Mr. Walls. I'm traveling with him to Cleveland. I want him to be able to check into the room before I get there so he can be there when I get there. And it's on some random weekend in Cleveland, me and Mr. Walls gonna share a room. Like, that's what's going through my head. And she's not helping because she's asking me shit over and over again. So it's hard enough for me to say, yeah, Mr. Walls the first time. And then when she asked me again, now I got to repeat it. And I'm not having a good day. But throughout all of that, I finally get the shit straight. I get the little confirmation emails. I can see she put his name on the room, I happen to look at the hotel and I'm like, oh shit, we in the hood. Like, we in the hood. Like right next to the hotel is some apartment complexes, brick apartment complexes, like brick 2-floor apartment complexes with ACs in the window. Like, I know the hood when I see the hood. I know a project when I see a project. You know what I'm saying? You can have the high rises or you can have them joints. That's a fucking project. I know what I'm looking at. Like, God damn it. Like, I'm hoping my homie ain't driving because I wouldn't even be comfortable with him putting his car outside the joint. So I'm calling him and I'm telling him where we at. Like, I got us a room. It's in the hood. You don't know what I had to fucking go through to do this. I gotta tell him I'm coming to see Mr. Walls. Like, dude, I did everything. I'm done. I'm out. Like, but we got it. We got a room. Maybe tomorrow I'll go look and see if I can find something better because this shit is in the fucking hood. But nigga, if you understood what my day has been like, you just rock with it. It is what the fuck it is. And then after all of that, I found out it was my fucking fault. The whole misunderstanding was my fault. So, my homie that's coming to the conference, he's like, all right, look, I'm going to call so-and-so because they just booked the room and I'm going to see what's going on. And then like less than 20 minutes later, I get an email with a confirmation for a reservation in my name at the hotel I called to begin with. The hotel that I say told me they was booked up that weekend. And so I'm like, what was the magic words? What did I do wrong? So apparently, like I called the number for the hotel and I pressed 1 for reservations. And that's where I fucked up. By pressing 1 for reservations, I was not being directed to the hotel. I was being taken to whatever the corporate thing was where they book reservations for all the hotels in their chain. And they did not have the information for what was going on for the conference this weekend. If I had not pressed 1 for reservations, which in my mind makes logical sense, but fuck logic, because logic didn't help me today. If I had not pressed 1 and just spoke directly to the hotel, the operator, or the concierge or something, they had the information and they had my name and they were waiting on my call, and it'd have been that easy for me to book the room. I wouldn't have had to talk to 3 people with 3 different accents who didn't listen and repeated shit and just drove me fucking crazy. I wouldn't have had to explain who Mr. Walls was. I wouldn't have had to do none of that if I just hadn't pressed 1. And that shit, I'm still pissed off about that now. Like that, I was already mad, and that made me even more upset. And I didn't get to spaz on nobody. That even meant that all them people I was talking to, I could have spazzed. Because at the end of the day, the homie could have fixed it in the end. So I could have just, I could have went off. I could have had a good day. I could have been telling y'all a whole different story about how I cussed every concierge in Cleveland out on the same day. It'd have been fucking epic. It would have been beautiful. And I feel like I missed out. But yeah, man, I needed to get that out. I needed to get this because nobody was here with me. I was by myself, pacing in this hot ass room in the middle of Texas in fucking June, July, and just dealing with idiocy across the country in the Midwest. No, I'm sorry, Cleveland. I'm sure your city is wonderful and you got all kinds of fun shit to do. I mean, I'm saying that facetiously. I sincerely doubt it, but I bet that's not the way you feel living there. So I apologize, for talking about your city that way. But I really wish I would have left my mark, earlier this week and just went on one of my epic rants. But I saved it for y'all. Like this is not even what it would have been. I would have gone so much harder. It would have been so beautiful. It would have been so beautiful. And I would have been at such peace when it was over with. Y'all know that feeling when you finally get to just unleash on a motherfucker and then just the peace that rushes over you afterward. The next day I'd have felt like a piece of shit. I'd have been upset with myself for letting somebody take me to that point. And I'd have felt embarrassed when I actually checked in. And, I'd have been like, oh, is this the motherfucker I was talking to? I got to go in there and put my own sheets on this bed because I'm sure they shit on everything in here. Like, this joint ain't clean at all. But I'm not going to have to go through any of that. It all worked out the way it was. And that's the end of the story. That's the beautiful thing about life. Like, I just stayed still, stayed quiet. Things worked out, and they'll continue to work out, hopefully. But I'm looking forward to this conference. Like I said, I'm going to be in Cleveland July 21st and 22nd, going to the 4C conference. My homie DC of the What the Shit podcast and Amron for Opulence Radio, they putting this thing together for content creators of color. It's going to be a dope time. So please, be on the lookout for it. If you're in the area, if you feel like, come through, hang out with us. I believe it's going to be a crazy dope time. I will be there and I'll be on my best behavior. I promise not to spaz on anybody while I'm there. Unless I feel like it's one I'll never see that person ever again in life. If I could find somebody I feel like I'll never have to encounter in life, they might catch it. But pause. But yeah. With that being said, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Please go check out the merch store, get some shirts. They're all very positive. Like, you know, I know this has been a negative. This has been a cleansing episode. I'm cleansing. I'm getting the evil out. Shit doesn't build up. But you know, on the website, it's a different vibe. I got the "Don't Thank Me, Thank God" shirts. I got the "Enjoy the Good Times, Endure the Bad, because this too shall pass" shirts. You know, I got the "Stay Grateful" shirts, "Stay Connected" shirts. I even got the J. Flan signature shirt that my mom was rocking. So if you want to rep like she reps, hit up the store, whatistws.com/store, and get you some merch. Help me take Sheffield East to Disneyland or something like that. I promise the funds will go to a good place. But with that being said, y'all be easy, be safe, be the light, and know this, if you know nothing else, don't let nobody take you where you don't want them to take you. And I fucking love you. Even when I don't like you, I fucking love you. Holla.
Last call for alcohol. Yeah. If this is it, like if this is the last joint, if this is the last hurrah, it's the last call for alcohol, baby. I gotta say, whether you knew it or not, it's pretty much at the finest bar establishment, the finest spirits and libations y'all could have had, baby. You might realize it now, you might have realized it back then. You might realize it later.
Love.